Bernando Silva downs wasteful Chelsea to lead Man City to FA Cup final, 5 talking points. Manchester City 1-0 Chelsea. Bernardo Silva provides an 84th minute winner for City as Pep Guardiola's side are let off their hook by some terrible finishing from Nicolas Jackson. Bernardo Silva scored a late winner as Manchester City booked their place in the FA Cup semi-final with a hard-fought win over Chelsea at Wembley. Chelsea had the better chances, but Nicolas Jackson could not take them and Mauricio Pochettino's side were stung at Wembley for the second time in 2 months. Silva tucked away at the back post, via a touch off Marc Cucurella, in the 84th minute from Kevin De Bruyne's deflected cross to send City into the final to face the winner of Manchester United vs Coventry. Chelsea had the better of the first half, but Jackson elected not to shoot having been clean through and Stefan Ortega made a good save from Cole Palmer's low shot. Phil Foden went around George Petrovic at the other end, but also couldn't fashion an attempt on target. Jackson's frustrations continued in the second half when Ortega saved twice inside a few seconds from the Chelsea striker's low shot and header. Petrovic pushed out Foden's effort before Chelsea had a penalty appeal waved away for a handball by Jack Grealish in the wall from Palmer's free kick. City grew into the game and, after Jeremy Doku came off the bench, began to grind down their opponents and were rewarded late on. Here are the talking points. Familiar frustrations with Jackson. Jackson has lots of good attributes. He's quick, athletic, reads the game well and has the physicality to run in behind or hold the ball up. But he is also young, inexperienced and guilty of poor decision-making far too often. Chelsea knew all of these things when they signed him for £30 million from Villarreal in the summer. They bought into the clear potential of a 22-year-old striker. The problem is that he has become their first-choice striker in his debut season at the club, rather than a second or third-choice player who can be rotated in and out. Coming into this game, he had 13 goals and 5 assists in 36 games, some might say respectable numbers for a young forward still learning his trade in his first season at a big club. But those people probably weren't thinking with such reasoning when Jackson sprinted clear of the City defense in the 29th minute, went around Ortega and still managed not to score. Jackson has shown flashes of quality, but he is far from the finished product. His lack of cutting edge cost Chelsea the lead they perhaps deserved from the first half, and reared its head 5 minutes into the second period. As Jermaine Janer said on commentary for the BBC, his missed 3 sitters. Blunt City. 7 of City's side also started the draining Champions League quarter-final defeat against Real Madrid on Wednesday and it seemed to show. With no Erling Haaland, they fielded Julian Alvarez up front and the Argentina international struggled to get involved. They fashioned one excellent chance to score, with Kevin De Bruyne sending Phil Foden through on goal with a trademark defense-splitting through ball, but that was almost the extent of their chances in the first half. In fact, City failed to have a single shot on target in the opening 45 minutes, despite having 17 touches in the box. Haaland's presence was an obvious miss, but Guardiola's use of Manuel Akanji in central midfield also seemed to hinder City in the build-up. The former Borussia Dortmund man has performed the role impressively this season, but his lack of creativity on the ball stood out, with City being funneled into the middle of the pitch by Chelsea's defence. Handball rule in the spotlight again. Palmer was convinced he should have been awarded a penalty when his free kick brushed Grealish's hand in the City wall on the way towards goal. Referee Michael Oliver had not even given a corner initially, having not seen the touch from Grealish, but VAR did pause the game to take a look. The appeal was waved away after a brief stoppage, but Chelsea fans might well have felt aggrieved not to have been given a spot kick. Grealish's hand was close to his side, and was coming back towards his body as he jumped, but he was fortunate to get away with it. Others may be happy that such an incidental action didn't help decide an important match. Whatever your opinion, most would agree that the handball rule is not fit for purpose at present. Doku changes the game. Grealish was only taken off after taking a heavy knock from Moises Caicedo, which left him furious. But in the end it was a fortuitous moment for City, who were able to bring on Doku on the left wing. The Belgian is everything Grealish is no longer, delighted to run at his man, Dustepovers and get to the byline. Doku was a spark for City, driving at Malo Gusto and then Axel Disasi down the left side. He terrorized the Chelsea defence, forcing them deeper and was involved in the opening goal. It was he who slipped in De Bruyne, whose cross found its way to Silva via Petrovic's leg. No treble, but City roll on. This match came a few days after a huge disappointment for City, who were knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid. They took their time to get into the game, and should have been punished by Jackson, before moving into yet another Wembley final. The strength of Guardiola's side comes from the ridiculous depth in their ranks. Ruben Dias came off the bench at halftime to replace John Stones. Doku was summoned to replace Grealish, and even without Holland they found the back of the net. Trophies have become so frequent under Guardiola that another FA Cup final simply feels like business as usual. They are out of the Champions League. The treble is gone. But they are now odds-on to finish the campaign with 2 trophies. Not bad. For Chelsea, their dreadful recent record at Wembley continues, with their 10th loss in the last 13 at the National Stadium. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this, don't forget like and subscribe this channel. Goodbye.